Hi, it's Sarah here from Roxy Creations. I wanted to show you an update of my envelopes that I've been making because I've made a little bit more progress, and then I've moved on to some other types of pockets. So these were the ones that I showed you in my last video, but what I've done with some of them is I've actually collaged on the back as well. This one here I've obviously done in a pink theme. I've got washi tapes. I think this was from Daphne's Diary. Some different stamps, some of my printables, wrapping paper, etc. So it's still an envelope that you can put things inside, and the way I'd add this into a journal is I'd run some washi tape down one side, then I'd run it down the other side obviously and stick it into the seam of a page, and so it's like a flip out pocket and you can put things inside. So the next thing I've done with my envelopes is I have used double-sided tape to attach some of them to book pages. So on this one, what I've done is I've run the tape in a U shape and stuck it down. So you've got a double pocket. You've got one pocket here, and then at the back is another pocket, so you'll be able to layer some different cards in there. So I've done that with a couple. This one's the same. And then with this one, this is one I made after I made my other video. I made one based on different types of peacocks. And what I did is I decorated both sides of the envelope and then I split it, so that what I've done is I've actually stitched it along this side, and when you put it into a journal, you have a pocket on this page and then a pocket on this page. Okay, and you can see the stitching, but I'd cover that up with some paper or some washi tape or something like that. So these are pages that I'm looking like putting into my journal. I'm just preparing some bits and pieces before I put it together. This is my nice peacock one. I love the peacock images that I found in different books. Okay, so what I've moved on to is some smaller little like pockets. So what I've done is I've just used book pages and I've folded them and then collaged on them. A really similar style to my other envelopes, but much smaller. So this one here, I've decorated both sides again. So I'd run the washi tape and have it in the seam of a book. So it's a flip out pocket and you put things in here. This one I have actually attached to a page, and I'll show you how I do that in a minute. But basically it creates a double pocket, one at the back, one at the front, and then this is a book page on music paper that I'll add to my journal and do some more decorating on. Same thing with this, just on a plain book page, double pocket. Okay, so just so you can see the collaging that I've done. This one was a blue theme with cats. I really like this little bit of paper. I recently bought some old stamps at an antique market, just some random bags, and they often just rip the corner off, and inside the corner was this little bit of a letter, which I thought was sweet. So another one, same as the last one. Okay, it's got a double pocket and just stitched onto a book page. This one, same thing again, just a different type of book. Okay, double pocket, and on the seam where I've stitched it, I've actually added some washi tape just to add a bit more interest. And it's a page that will end up in my journal. Okay, so here are some pockets that I've worked on. I haven't actually stuck these in anywhere. This one is one of the double-sided ones. So I've done a different colour wave on the back and the front. It will be a flip out. And these are ones I've just done this afternoon. I've just been working on them. So nothing much on these. They're not even stitched yet, but I just want to show you how I'd actually stitch them. So that one, this one, and then I really like Mr. Jeremy Fisher from Beatrix Potter. I think he's super cute. I really like this. Oh, this is really old book page as well. I got this out of the front cover of some book that I bought in the op shop. So I'm going to show you quickly how I stitch them into a book, and then I will show you how I make them to see if you're interested. Now, this is not my unique idea, folding a book page. I've seen people do this. I think I've seen my sister do it. Sarah from the Mushroom Market, I'm pretty sure, has done something similar. It's not unique, but it's just something that I decided to try. So let's say this was your book page that you wanted to stitch it to. Just lay it down. So what I do is I just line up your book page so that there's just a tiny little gap along the bottom. There's about 1 to 2 mils there. And then you can actually paper clip or pin it into place, like with some those kind of bulldog clips. And then all I do with my sewing machine, about 2 to 3 mils in from the edge, I sew back and forward here to start. I sew down the side before I get to the crease. I turn my machine, I sew along there, and then I turn my machine, I sew along there and back and forth just to finish it off. So this part of the page is stitched down, and then what I do is I flip this up and I just back and forward stitch here, stitch down the seam, always about 2 to 3 mils from the edge, stitch back and forth, finish it off, and then I do the same on this side as well, and then you end up with your double pocket. You could also use glue to do this, and you could also use double-sided sticky tape, but I have been doing it with the sewing machine so far. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make 1 or 2 of these little pockets just to show you what they look like and how easy they are to make. It's a very similar style to my big envelopes. I'm using the same kind of elements. So what I do is I like to get sort of one kind of piece of sort of image that I'd like to use as my main image. So let's say, for example, I've got this little digi printout. This is one of my digitals of a beautiful little rosella, and then I try to find a few little elements that might go along with this. So I've got a stamp, I've got some bits and pieces of paper, I might put some other little scraps behind, and I'm pretty sure I had, hang on, I think I had, I'm just finding it on the side here. You could put bits of, that's a digi printout of lace trim. And then what I try to do is I match washi tapes to go with it. So for this colour wave, I've picked these washi tapes, and then I got this one today in the mail as well off eBay, and I thought I might give that one a go. And I had another stamp here. I'm just finding all my bits and pieces. They're off to the side. So I might not end up using all of these, but what I do is I like to get bits and pieces out just to give myself options. So let's have a play around and we'll see what we can come up with. So just move my scraps to the side. Now, this is quite a large image. If I was to fold, so what I do is I fold the book page up and I usually crease it, and then this will go on it. Because this is quite a large image, either I'm going to fold it up completely in half and just not have the layered look, or what I think I actually will do is I'm going to tear down my little image a bit. So just crease it wherever. I've done creases at different points. As you can see, Mr. Jeremy Fisher only has a very small little tab at the top, and this one over here from Little Things Big Things Grow has a much bigger flap at the top because this was a smaller image. So I'm actually going to tear this one down a little bit, just tear out around the image. I like the torn look for most bits and pieces. I'm just tearing off the border. It's usually a little bit jagged, but I really don't mind that at all. It's wabi-sabi, as they call it in Japanese. Imperfect for sure. So just going to get this little bit off. Don't like sharp edges too much. Try to round them off a little bit. So now that's going to fit a lot better. So the first thing that I would do is actually just layer up some of these papers. So what I'll do is I'll get my scrapbook page and I'll do my gluing on here. So running the glue over the whole page. Let's move these away a little bit. And then I'm going to do a bit of collaging on the background. So we'll start with that. This bit of paper here was just an old bit of wrapping paper, and it looks like it's just printouts of old feed sacks which are some of my favourites. I love old feed sacks. This is a wrapping paper I've had for years, and I've kept a hold of it thinking one day I might use that. And so finally I am. This one here is a feed sack as well, but this one is from Amity Bloom. I bought a couple of her digipacks of these. She has lots of lovely colours to choose from, and I actually want a bit of colour on the back page as well, so I'm going to pop this one here. And the colours I'm trying to pick up are some of the colours in my little bird, my little digital bird. He's like a little Australian rosella. I'm thinking I might put a little strip of this. Along here, just to add a bit more interest. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick my rosella down. I'm just having a look to see if I might. I think I'll stick, this is just a sticker. It says it's a coupon of some description. I think it's meant to be like a ticket. And I'm just going to stick that in the background face. It's just like washi tape. It's very thin, this one. Where's my other stamp? How have I lost that already? Ah, it's under here. So I, as I was saying, I got a bunch of stamps from the antique store, and they were just like $1 for a bag of, there was, I don't know, there was quite a few. It wasn't a set amount in each bag. So I bought 5 bags, and when I came home and went through them, I'd say like 90% of them were of the Queen. So I've got the Queen in pretty much every colour. I've got her at all different ages, and she's probably going to make an appearance on a lot of my different bits of journaling, or junk journals, I should say. All right, I'm going to put one more little scrap down, and then I think I'm ready to stick our little bird on top. I do keep the bits of book that I glue on, because you can, as my sister taught me, you can put glue on them, fold them in half, and you can turn them into tags. Haven't attempted many tags yet, but that might be a new thing I'll try soon. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. That's quite a big stamp, that one. I do really like it, but I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a bit big. I might see what else I've got. So this little box is full of, these are all stamps. They look like they're new, but I don't think they were actually used for anything, because they've kind of got little prints on them. I think they've actually printed them deliberately like that. Don't mind that one. A bit big as well. Looking for something smaller. So they were pretty cheap. I think I got them for about $6 or something like that. It was pretty cheap. And I got animals, birds, and butterflies, I think was my selection. So there's lots of different colours, which makes it easy to add to, oh, I don't mind that one, to add to your junk journal pages. You can usually find something that will go along with the colour theme. Keep changing my mind. I've got some yellow paper at the top, so I might stick that yellow butterfly down. I like this one with the colour, but I think it's a bit big. I think I might go for this one. Felt like it needed something up in that corner. And then I play around with my washi tapes, and I see what I think might match this. Now this is a bit big. I don't think I'm going to use this one. I'll save this one for another project, but it looks really cool. Use that later. Ooh, quite like the neon red. Think about that one. Now this is a new one. Look at that. It's like, sorry, a bit gluey on my fingers. It's like a Japanese tape. I really like that. It's got cranes. Let's use a bit of that. Just add a bit more. Oh, I love that washi tape. That is so nice. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to bump the camera. So there's a little bit of blue on here. What I might do is tear up a strip of this and just make it smaller. So I'll just halve it, and I can use the other half for another one. Find the end of my neon washi tape. Just want to add a little bit of that. Layer it up a little bit. This one I really like. It's got a bunch of words on it. I don't really mind what it says. Again, I'm just going to rip a bit. And finally, I'm going to put a pop of yellow in the corner over here. Just over here. And then the last thing that I usually do is some form of stamping. I don't know if I like that one. I'll take that one off. Don't really like that one there. Didn't look good. I'm going to put this tiny bit of extra yellow on instead. Just a little strip. So what I normally do now is I use my Stays On ink. The colour I like to use is Timber Brown. I do have black, but I tend to go towards the Timber Brown more often. And I have a very small variety of stamps. I really need to increase them, but I like to do a stamp or two on the pages as well. So like that. So just randomly. Because it's got a butterfly, I might do a butterfly as well. And I like the Stays On ink because it tends to, as it says, stay on any type of paper that you use. So like this wrapping paper is a bit of a glossy one, and the ink will dry nicely on that. So I'm having fun making these. The ideas and colour schemes are endless. I'm kind of doing quite a few, so hopefully you get some ideas from what I've done, and you might want to make some yourself. So this is another video. I'm gradually getting there, and hopefully I'll make some more soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.